The art form of civil disobedience. It is doing what's right, even maybe if it's against the law, my definition anyway. So over the years and through my mind and through many inspirations, I've followed people such as John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Hunter S. Thompson, Freya, you, and led me to start the art form of civil disobedience, to have people want to tell their stories the way they view things. I find it super interesting. So that led me down certain paths and led me to a man like Ryan Mahle, who started an amazing institution out in San Diego called the Meditation and Mindfulness Institute for Humans. And what they do is inspiring nonetheless. And that's why, one of the reasons of many why he is today's first guest on the art form of civil disobedience. And what we get into a little bit is, the importance of support around you, what types of support, how to break the cycle, what that means anyway. Kind of the blueprint on chasing your dreams is what we get into, and that's helping you find yourself, a healthy balance. Man, we get in deep in life, love, loss, young love and loss, cancer and its destruction and impact on everybody's lives. The search for finding yourself and turning tragedy into inspiration, and basically starting fires and getting into how the butterfly effect, the golden rule, be kind. You get what you give. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the art form of civil disobedience with today's guest, Ryan Mahle. There we go. All right. Ryan Mahle, sir, welcome to the art form of civil disobedience. This is the world doesn't know, but this means everything to me. Everything that you get to be.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm excited just to be on this.
It's crazy. Life is a trip. We all say that. But man, if everybody knew the trip that everybody took, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Everybody's journey is amazing in its own. If you sit and listen, I've bumped into gas station attendants in the middle of the night that are lonely and just spill their guts and tell me deep things, enlightening things, you know what I mean? And it's crazy to me that people just overlook these things in people and look down on them because they're a Moto Mart attendee or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how people sometimes are more comfortable telling strangers some of the darkest parts of their life than they are the people that are around them.
Right, it's almost like they think, maybe subconsciously or even consciously, like, I'm never going to see this person again, so who gives a shit what I say? They're not going to tell anybody that I know, so here it goes, get it off my chest type of thing. I've just always been open, so I tell strangers stuff anyway. I think I get that from my grandma. But it's something I think a lot of people should do more of. Get to know people that they normally wouldn't, be more open, I guess.
Yeah.
It just boggles my mind because I think that way and I am that way. And when I see others not doing it, it saddens me that they're missing out on all this connection that could be going on. You know what I mean? You definitely know what I mean. But I wanted to get into that. See, nobody knows. I mean, we went to school together in middle school.
Yeah.
kind of we veered in life, and
A little bit.
a little bit.
Uh,
Man, watching your progression has just been nothing short of amazing, man. It's like Hollywood movie shit. What you're doing is inspiring, always has been. It's a genuine thing, and not many people are like you, and I think, and I'm happy to get to introduce you on at least my platform. I know you've already been established, but the people in my circle don't know what I know, I'm happy to introduce you to them, man. So tell us a little bit about the institute that you've started with Jock.
awesome, man. Good place to start. And thank you for the kind words, man. It it's interesting looking back on some of the videos that I've done over the years and some of the podcasts and see where I was, see where I am now. And it is a moment that I don't really think about a ton because I'm living my life, you know, so I don't think about it a ton. So it's nice to, you know, just to look at some of the things that have gone on over the years. But yeah, getting into the institute, man. So this Meditation and Mindfulness Institute for Humans. This is a meditation and mindfulness school. The sole purpose is self-discovery and building a lifetime community of kind individuals looking to spread that kindness throughout the world. And one of the reasons Jacques and I started the institute was, and this is something that you and I have talked about a lot over the last few years, is just this aspect of community.
Yeah.
And we have this idea, I think, individually of what community is, and a lot of people are looking for it. But when it comes to actually executing it, how does that work? And that has been the thing that we're really excited to start bringing, to start introducing, because it really is. It comes down to support. It comes down to support of each other on their path, and that support can happen by introducing somebody to somebody else, allowing somebody to demo whatever it is that they do on you. Like if they have a product that they want to share with you and be like, hey, can you give me some feedback? It's when you travel, meeting up with somebody that you know within your community, so you can see the local areas, so you can enjoy the local scene. It's meeting up with each other just to enjoy little aspects of life. I mean, one of the things that we do is we have the amazing fact that we are near a beach, a few different beaches here in San Diego. So we will go out and get together with people and draw mandalas in the sand, just as a community building event, a self-discovery event. It's the two things that we're talking about going into one, because the whole point of the mandala is just representing being in the present moment. You're drawing something, you're not worried about what's going to happen to it. The ocean's going to take it away. People are going to walk through it. Lifeguards are going to drive over it. We know that's going to happen, but it's just the intent of being in the moment, you know, being around people you enjoy being around, and just seeing this, how focused can you get to be in the present moment? And we've noticed that this is really hard to do. It's really hard to get everything slowed down to a point of, okay, we know we want self-discovery, we know we want community. How do we execute? And we're doing this thing that I feel like is very exciting, where we're taking the dreamer side of things, the doer side of things, and we're showing how those can go together.
Yeah.
Because, man, we all have dreams. We all have things that we want to do. We all have things that we aspire to accomplish. Whether or not we're going towards that is one thing or another. So if you have all these dreams, but the stuff that you're doing isn't in alignment with the dream, you're just branching further and further away. So it is getting part of a community that's fostering and cultivating self-discovery and support at the same time, so that you can find your way to start doing the things that will get you closer and closer to that dream. And it has just been this beautiful vision that's starting to come to light right now. Our class is full. You're part of our class that's starting on the 29th. I don't know when this is going to be out, but the 18-week course that we got coming up, man, I'm super excited to get it going. There's a ton of great information in there. The founder of the school is a monk. He is the teacher slash mentor slash one of my best friends, who is mentoring me on my path to becoming a monk as well. So we're really trying to create something special. And I'll take that back. We're not even trying. We are creating something special here. It is something that I feel like we have been committing a lifetime of work to.
Oh, yeah.
And looking back at the course of my life, I see how that fits in with my path. So that's why I'm so excited to be on it.
For sure, man. Exactly. And that's why I swarm to it. Not only, I'm familiar with you from middle school at Edison, but I felt your genuineness then. So when I saw what you were doing and involved in, and then when you the call a long time ago and invite me to be on your podcast, interviewing me and then introduce me into your world a little more deeper, I jumped down that rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
So, and someone like me, I think it's noticeable, my change, my evolution, and people, I don't think they're surprised by it, but I think they're a little curious, like what got into him, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's your institute, basically. It's what you guys are doing, and I'm hoping this introduction will lead people that way. Because back to what you said about support,
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard for people. I have a story when I was younger. Church used to be a thing. Like, I loved going with my grandpa, but it will always made me uncomfortable because the people there were so strict in their beliefs and behaviors and mannerisms and like mantras, if whatever, that they were strict on me, like made fun of my hair, ridiculed my look, said things to me, and made me feel unwelcome all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All the time, unwelcome. Like I felt like an outsider always. And in most churches I've been to, and places like that, even, you just feel the look, like the indifferent looks from people. The squinty-eyed. And so I veered from that and went down my path that people just had open arms, which was out here in the West End of Marion, doing what the West End kids did, just get into trouble and whatnot. But I never wanted that. I wanted to be a good person. I am a good person, but I always felt that I felt that I was what people thought I was.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I started accepting that, because I don't know why, because it felt wrong the whole time, you know what I mean? But then I started getting support from people, positive people, my friends' parents, coaches, teachers. Oh my God, teachers, man. Teachers, you're a teacher. When I got a hold of you, we did that, 16 weeks, something like that, 14?
12, yeah.
12-week thing. That's set a big change in my life, the way I pursue things. Because I still am scatterbrained, but talking to you gave me other options. You set me down different rabbit holes, introduced me to new people and things that opened up so many other doors to help me figure the shit I needed to figure out for myself. And that made me realize it could happen for anybody, because I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the room. I'm half Neanderthal. I'm a Viking. It's a fact. But the thing is, if you really want to change, there is information out there. Just because you run and hit one wall, that just you're not gonna get it there. Just go where you find it. You know what I mean? There are people like I bump into you and other people, but I don't know why people give up so easily. That's the thing. Like you said, that's the hard part, getting them to commit.
I mean, come on, man. You don't know why people give up so easy. And I mean, you see these. This is exactly what we're talking about here with the whole community side of things. I really believe that everybody wants it, but when you go to these places that are preaching community, like you were saying, your experience in the church, and they're saying, we support you, this is a good place, this is a good place. This is just sometimes lip service, and it's not the action that's being carried out. And I'm not saying all churches are like this. I know there's some out there that are very welcoming, very open, and all this and that. But I feel like there's this idea of community just being, okay, I know a group of people, instead of just being like, how can I support them on their journey? Because the whole thing about support is it might eventually drive somebody away from somebody else, because their support is allowing them to go towards a path that is taking them physically somewhere else. And I don't think people want to lose that physical closeness of people. But the reality of the situation is, if everybody's supporting everybody, you find your communities. And then you can work together supporting each other's communities, because dude, you're smart. Don't take that away from yourself. You're a very smart dude, man. And it's just where the things that you're smart about, because I'm pretty ignorant about most things, but there's some things that I do know a little bit about, and that's just from experience. And it's just like, that's where we can learn from each other. It's not always putting yourself in a place where you have to get out and get in all these different groups that you don't resonate with. It's find your community and still be open to meeting other people. And that's one of the things with the school that we're excited about, is because we don't care which direction you go, we support you. Like, we're here to help. Like, if you want to, just have a better daily week at your 9-to-5 corporate job, we're here to help. Yeah. If you are going towards a path of a yoga instructor, we're here to help in however many ways that we can. If you're just retired and you just want to practice meditation and mindfulness, boom, we're here for that too. It's just like, whatever that is, it doesn't mean you're constantly around each other, constantly physically there. It just means that you support what gets people going, what makes them happy, what makes them feel passionate about getting up each day. That's such a big deal, man. And I know you felt it before. We've both talked about this plenty of times, of like, you wake up and you don't feel any sort of pride in what you do. Yeah. You're sitting here, you're like, I am not in the right place right now. Like, I don't feel good about what I'm doing in life. Yeah. And then it's just continually questioning those things and attempting to resonate with the people and things that do lift you up. And that's finding it, man. And it's difficult to do, because if we're in this mindset that we can't really branch out of our community because we're leaving people, then we're stuck. It's
back to that too, but it's also, and that's how you do it. The key is breaking the cycle. It's realizing that it's not turning your back on someone if you go this way, and you're not leaving them. You're just going down a path that is better for you. So that person, if they're really mindful and care for you, will understand, like, I need to go for it, man, do your thing. And that's the way I look at things. But when people get angry or say things because I'm not around so much or whatever. It hurts my feelings. I feel like it sucks that my friends feel that way. I don't want them to feel that way. I want them to understand, but I'm beyond caring now. Like they just have to see. If not, then I can't wait around and care, man. I have this
Yeah.
going on. You know what I mean? It's breaking the cycle. It's like my marriage.
Mhm.
I love my wife more. She saved me. This would not be happening if Danielle didn't get dumb for a few minutes and decide to marry me. But it's we compromise on so much. It's not a perfect marriage. It's not at all. It's more like Married with Children, if anything. Um, but we're so good with compromise. That's why Freya behaves the way she does in public, and people are praising like, oh, she's such a sweet girl. She's so kind-hearted, and because we emulate that and her presence. And like if we have a spat, we just give each other the look and handle it later, like adults. You know what I mean? We work together. I don't agree with everything she does, but I like, this has to work. I want this to work. I love her. I want our marriage to last until I die or she does, and whatever, vice versa. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. That's my promise. So we make it work. And that's with everything, with all my relationships, with my father. When if you hold a grudge with your dad or your mom for their bullshit, whatever it is, neither one of you is going to progress. So I even at a young age, I don't want to say make excuses for their behaviors, but I knew the things that they had been through. And I understood at that age what that would do to a human being and their psyche. So I gave them a little benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? And plus, they're my parents. They're my mother and my father. I love them.
Yeah.
And to this day, I mean, we're cool now. And they're both okay, but they were young. You know what I mean? Stupid kids, made mistakes, and they had it rough, man. So it is
Yeah.
what it is. But like I said, I had people like you in my life, man. I had friends like Matt Robinson, Ryan Culp, Zach Young, Howie, Dustin Mustard, Jason Phillips, Jason Collins, all of my guys, man, everybody. And coaches, teachers. Oh my, again, teachers sent me that. And out of everybody, teachers, you know what I mean? Who would have thought that a teacher would even give a shit about a kid like me? But they were the ones that reach out the most and instilled certain things in me more so than anybody in my life, and sent me to and gave me encouragement and inspiration.
Well, I mean, shouldn't that be the norm? Like, I wish that was the norm.
Every teacher should have that in them, but a lot of them are just haggy, cunty.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's just
no,
that way.
I feel like all these different professions get, if you're not in the profession, you judge it by based off of what you wish it would be. And at the end of the day, I feel like all these different jobs, it's like teachers, nurses, police, all these jobs that we try to pretend that everybody is going to be perfect. There's a lot of people in those fields that just needed a job,
Yeah.
and they're not there for the right reasons. They just needed a job. And this was again, the support of a community. If you're supporting people on what they want to do, you don't have a lot of pissed off people in their profession. And I feel like we have a lot of pissed off people in their profession.
Yeah. See, I think I got lucky. Not lucky. I think my path led me directly to what we're doing, because I took a lot of leverage away from these feelings that normal people have of stress of this or wary of that, because I've fended for myself for so long. And plus having the heritage I do, the Southeastern Kentucky Viking frontiersmen people who have done for themselves their whole lives, I take pride in that. I could build a house with my bare hands, hunt, fish, create my own energy source from natural things.
Mhm.
There's nothing you can take from me.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about a fucking thing. But most people don't have that confidence in themselves to be able to, you know, oh my God, they're you know, I have bills piling or whatever, you know, this job or that job, and I have skills, you know, I can weld, level 1 electrician up to 480 volts. I can plumb, I can do stuff with my hands.
You're also talking about confidence from where you grew up and the things that you learn. You know, you can't expect
Right.
somebody who grew up in the middle of a city that's never really been outdoors to
Right.
know about anything
Yeah, I don't shake easy. That's a fact. I mean,
you're talking
I've
about.
been around, they call them simps around here. Simple, you know, people that just don't understand the grind of somebody living in the gutter, like trying to get over on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sad. I mean, it's naive. I mean, it's good that people are like that and are unaware and have never been around that. I wish that nobody ever is around stuff like that and people stop behaving that way, because
Mhm.
you don't have to. But you shouldn't be naive to it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There are people out there that are just mean spirited, want to hurt people, want to take from people. Um, that's their baggage. That's what they're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The only thing I can do for those people is shine a light, and what I mean by that is lead by example. You can't force anybody to do anything. The best thing you can do for anybody is
Mhm.
to do that thing you would like them to do. Be the person you would like to see them be. It's that fucking simple. How the fuck did I figure that out? And normal people can't. It's sad
Well,
because I'm
what is normal? Again, are you just looking from your standpoint? Like, how do you know what it's like for another person on the other side of the world that grew up in different life circumstances? How do you know what it's like for somebody who grew up in Arkansas or somebody who grew up in Washington or Hawaii or Canada? Like, there's no way for any of us to know about anybody else's experience unless we listen.
yeah. And there's hope, man. See, I don't even get sad anymore. Like when we even are talking like this, like because more people are thinking along these lines and searching for something like this to be a part of.
Yeah.
They just don't know where that support is. They've had so many doors, I guess, slammed in their face that they're just not used to a genuine person with genuine help and genuine support. Like when it really happens, they're like, "Is this fucking real?" And
Yeah.
it is though. There are people out there who just care. That's it. There's no strings attached, man. I'm just here to help. That's it. Building bridges, baby. That's it. That's what
Yeah,
I
man.
want you to do. And
Yeah.
that's what you guys are doing, and that's why I'm so happy to be a part of it, man. It was an easy decision. Easy, simple. And I feel lucky to be in the first wave of it because I feel like this is gonna be something huge. Very, very huge.
Oh yeah, man. I
Yeah,
do. I do too.
for sure. And then back to the teacher thing, man. I'm interested because I've had so many inspirations. I mean, Hunter S, Alan Watt, you know what I mean? Uh,
Mhm.
so many people, teachers. Where did you start getting your niche from? You know what I mean? Where was the first thing that touched your heart, sent you down your path, if you get what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to start this.
I mean, go back, man. You can mix it up. We don't have to have the exact point, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because there have been so many I guess you could say, aha moments for me over the years that I don't know that I can point it to just one because of the amount of different things I've tried. I would say that I got here because of my own journey on attempting to heal. And it stems from, and you know this, I've talked about this with you extensively, and this is, I just did a video with Jacques
Kung Fu.
the other day about this, so this is going to be the only other time I've really talked about this in depth. But yeah, it goes back to a pivotal point in my life that I guess started my journey because it forced me into a pretty dark place. And it was when the first love of my life, we were friends, and when we were kids, she was the younger sister of one of my buddies growing up, and it was that, it was that pure love, like, that you didn't realize was love, because you hadn't heard from society and the media what love is supposed to be. So, you don't try to do it, you just feel. And back in 2007, we weren't together at this time, but this was somebody that I thought that I would end up with someday. And I was working a shift at Starbucks in Marion, and a storm came through the town. I had just seen her that day. She came into the store. We had planned on meeting up that weekend. After the storm passed, my mom and best friend growing up, they came into the store and had this worried look on their face, and it was just one of those, like, what? And my mom just looks at me and she goes, "Sean is dead." And I was just, it was one of those, like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I just saw her.
Right.
And what ended up happening was a tree limb fell, it broke off and fell on the car driving and killed her. And the very ironic, but also, like, just showing how things can be connected, found out not too long ago that you were there and you had heard the limb break right before you got up to the vehicle.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until last year.
It was wild. I remember telling you, we were talking, I think, on the phone about it, because you were describing the story, and I'm like, this was 07? I remember that because I was with my ex at the time, and her parents lived on Cherry, and every street was flooded. So we're driving down alleys to try to get back to her parents' house so I could drop her off. And we were in an alley somewhere between Cherry and, like, Girard, or somewhere over where and I remember going down the alley and seeing the limb on top of the car, and there was a young man on his phone, like, red face, crying, like, sobbing, and my heart just wrenched because I could see in the car that there was a person. And I didn't know that was Shauna. When you were telling me the story, I just saw that, and I'm like, oh my God, I was there. I was there.
Yeah.
Crazy. We saw
some wild
I remember I heard the thing crash or whatever and saw that the kid was there. So I was like, cool, he's okay. And then I saw his face red, crying, and then I saw that there was somebody it was the passenger seat, I think. Or maybe, I can't remember, driver's, passenger, whatever. Yeah, I remember just instantly.
Yeah, she was driving.
But yeah, man,
that's that. So when that happened, that was around the time that I had just moved in with a couple buddies of mine in Delaware, a little bit south of Marion. And I had just graduated from college. I had no direction in life at all and was trying to figure things out. and the only thing that made me excited around that time was partying and hitting the party scene pretty hard. So
Which,
after this happens, the inevitable happens, and you just get into the party scene even more, because I shut down. You know, I shut down my emotions, shut down my heart, and there was nobody I could talk to. Everybody that I tried to talk to, and this is where the support comes into play, and it's not to anybody's fault. Like, if you were around me during that time, and you know, whatever, I don't blame you for not being able to have the words or know what to do, to just be there, you know. But none of us knew, man. None of us knew. Like, it's just like, what do you do? And the long and short of it is, you get drunk, you cry about it, and you stuff it way, 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 way down, so you don't have to feel it. That's what we're taught as men. You gotta just suck it up and move forward. But the reality is, I was not moving forward. I got stuck in 2007, and I was stuck there for many years. And you know, this played into pretty much a lot of the decisions that I ended up making, the path that I started to go on, because it wasn't anywhere remotely near what felt good to me, because I wasn't leading by my heart at all. So I wasn't running any sort of like questions through the lens of, does this feel right? Should I be going this way? I was trying to think my way through everything instead of feel. Yeah. And it's just like, well, this is logical. Well, this is logical. So it's like, I went the corporate route. I ended up getting in a long-term relationship that turned into a marriage and eventually a divorce. I'll get into some of that here in a second. The thing that happened in 2011, when I was in the corporate world, really trying to figure out, again, I don't fit in here. I'm not supposed to be here. And I was just like, what do I do? I get a call from my dad that he was diagnosed with cancer. And I get that call after a day of work. I go out to the parking garage. I have a message, and I listen to it, and it's just one of those like, well, moments, you know. And after I was with my ex at that time, I mean, even though our relationship didn't work out, she helped me through a lot of really tough times. I don't have any animosity towards her.
right.
It's just something that didn't work out. But again, I'll get into that a little bit here in a second. But after the diagnosis, it was less than a year later, I believe, on New Year's Day, my mom got diagnosed with cancer. So dad got hit with esophageal, mom got hit with multiple myeloma, and then it's just, you're just waiting every day to get the phone call that your parents died, you know. So it's I'm already numb from Shauna, and then it's getting this news. It's being in the environment that I was in the corporate world, that it was horrible, man. And I say that with the utmost respect to people that would appreciate a job and may not have been able to get it. I get that. I'm talking about from where I was at in life right then.
No, for sure.
It was a horrible time.
I don't think anybody's like, this dude's not appreciative of his job. Like, nobody's thinking that right now, bro. Trust me, they're like, this poor motherfucker's parents. That's all anybody. Yeah, come on. We get it.
So this is going on, and I'm like, okay, I gotta start figuring some shit out, because this is just, it's given me a a real glance at how fragile this is. And
Heavy though.
yeah, so fast forward to 2015, it was an exciting and horrible time at the same time. In around a 3 to 4 month window, my dad passed from his bout with cancer.
Remember hearing that.
I got married like a month later, and then a month to a month and a half after that, left from Ohio to San Diego. And the reason for that, I mean, was to search for something new, you know, something that is searching for that passion, searching for like what makes me want to be here, what makes me want to show up. Because my thinking was starting to switch once my parents had gotten diagnosed. I was starting to be like, okay, what causes cancer? And I started to look at all these different factors, and it's like all these different, it's a complete life thing, man. It's stress, it's the people that you hang out with, it's the things that you do, it's the food that you eat, you know, the story you're telling yourself. It's never this, oh, you just drink celery juice and you'll be fine. No, that's not how it works. It's a whole life thing. So I started to go down this rabbit hole of how can I do the best thing that I can do to not go that route. And that's how the thinking started, because I was just like looking to change my physical journey. Because again, I was in the party scene. I had an extra 50 pounds that I was carrying around. I was unhealthy. And I started to get healthy, man. Yeah, I started to get healthy, man. I started to feel good. And I'm like, oh, there's something to this. And then it freed me up to be able to like dive into like, okay, well, what kind of mental game am I sitting with right now? So once I started to get my health stuff cleared up a little bit, I was able to dive into other things, and it just continued my journey in that. But getting back to 2015, so we move out, and it is like full on like, holy shit, man, didn't have jobs lined up, didn't have, like, we tried our best to get something set up, but a lot was going on. Things moved fast, and it's just, I was like, I'll figure it out. Because once I got here, I was happy to be here. I felt like I was home. You know, I was like, oh my God,
San Diego.
This I love this place. And you know, yeah, man. So to fast forward a little bit more, this was at the end of 2017, and in another little 3-month window, I was let go from the job that I was working. Thankfully, I was happy about that. About 2 hours after I got let go, I was like, why am I mad about this? This is great.
Right.
You know, so I was actually able to start the podcast, which is a second thing that happened during that time frame, which I had been starting to do for a while. This podcast that we talked about at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
That I had you on a couple times, and I got the news about a week and a half before Christmas that my mom passed, and it was just like, man, these fucking roller coasters, man, like that ain't no joke. It's just like
Yeah.
good things and bad things intertwined, and it's crazy. Throw into the mix, my marriage was starting to deteriorate around that time. So there was this period not too long after my mom passed where I was just like, well, I just enjoy or how I worked through my shit before was just physical stuff. Go work out, go, you know, throw a football around, play basketball, get moving, get the body moving, because that was my way to avoid what was going on in my head and in my heart. And I was out throwing the football around with one of my buddies, and I went up to catch a pass. He'd thrown a pass, and I went up to catch it. I came down And, you know, I'd gone out, we'd play all the time, like throwing the football, throwing the frisbee around. So much fun. And I was just like, man, I just got to get out there. I got to get this shit off my mind, you know. Went up, catch it, come down, back locks up.
Oh, oh, oh.
So I am officially stuck on my couch with the situation of, I had just started this podcast. It was getting going. You know, my marriage wasn't going too great, and my mom just died. I didn't have a job, and I'm the one thing that I enjoyed doing to help deal with life was physical stuff. I can't go anywhere.
Right. Man. Brother, I didn't know that.
So that's when I really started to understand the importance of the mental game of all of this, and really getting into, okay, what does this stuff mean to me, and really getting to the core of what really life means to me, because it ramped things up, man. It's like I'm learning in the realest way ever that we are visitors here. We do not get out of this thing alive. And if we can't enjoy our time while we're here, like why
Right.
why are we doing anything, you know? And it's
Exactly.
so I've been at points over the years where it's been like the lowest of the lows in my life from my perspective. And you know, going into 2018, that's when I was hit with a nerve issue that I'm still recovering from, but I'm on a good path, man, to getting that straightened out. But at the time, and again, I was starting to get back into the physical thing. I was like, oh, my back got better. I don't need to learn the lesson. And it was life was like, boom, your left hand doesn't work. I
Yep.
went to sleep, and the next day, my freaking hand was locked like this and wouldn't open. I was sitting here looking at my hand like, open, open, please open. And it just wouldn't. And it was stuck like that for a month. So I'm just like, all right, okay, I got it. I got to start digging through this stuff. Like, I really got to get serious about it. And it's just been over the years uncovering who I am, what I enjoy, what I want out of life, what I want out of life, you know. And part of the personal growth is it does take you away from certain people. And my ex and I ended up going separate directions. You know, we decided at the end of towards the end of 2019, I think it was around September, that we decided that that we need to go our separate ways. You know, it wasn't working. Like we were, it just wasn't working, man. And the intimacy wasn't there. And again, not to blame anybody or anything. It's just, sometimes it happens. We don't realize what we don't see. And looking back, you know, I wouldn't change any of this. Like, does it hurt? Does some of the stuff hurt over the years? Yeah.
Right.
But I've been able to process this, understand it, the self-discovery piece, to get to a point of what it means to me, because the avoidance of it wasn't working. It was driving me insane. And my podcast over the years was really, I'm looking back at it, it's just so interesting that you're starting this up as I've pretty much put a halt on mine for the time being.
Right.
But you know, it's because of my path. Like I found it. You know, the podcast is something that will always be near and dear to my heart, because it helped me find myself, man. It helped me open my eyes to so many different people from so many different walks of life. I didn't even know you on a level that I never even imagined.
Right.
And it's like the network of people that I've been able to meet. I mean, the person I'm starting to school with, it started with a podcast.
Yeah, man.
And it was one of those things that our relationship has grown over the years. And we really, with everything that I've just gone through, it's led into my passion for the school of understanding on like a very, very personal level what self-discovery, and because the flip side of this is the amazing people over the years that I've been able to talk with. And if I didn't have that community support, the people that I've been able to just talk to and not have to worry about mincing my words or saying anything that's going to shock them to the point of being like, oh, can you not say that around me? You're one of those people that I've been able to talk to about this kind of stuff. And to all the others out there, I can't thank you enough. Like, it's the reason I was able to stay afloat. I really believe it's the only reason I was able to stay afloat during those times, is the strong bonds that I've been able to create with certain people over the years.
Glad I could help, brother. It's starting to rain, so I had to move this session to the car. Like, sneaky rain.
And that's why I don't miss Ohio.
Dude, out of nowhere. I'm gonna have to grab some stuff real quick. So give me 1 second. I left some crap out here. Got the old camera. Can't forget the camera. All right. Sorry about that, sir. We're back now.
Yeah, man. That's where a lot of my motivation lies. And it's it's been finding purpose in the pain, because it's been a lot of pain on my throw in the entrepreneurial journey I've been on since the end of 2017. When I got let go from my job, I was like, all right, this is the time. This is the time to go towards it if I'm going to go towards it. And I'm still on it. Like, I'm not claiming to be any sort of successful entrepreneur right now, technically, because success is subjective. I feel like my success in life, I'm proud of. I have successes as an entrepreneur that I get to shoot for now. And I look at these last 3+ years as experience, man. I've the amount of stuff that I've been trying to do to find my way as well, it has given me life lessons that you can only get one way.
Oh yeah.
And it is, there's sometimes you really question whether or not you want to keep going, because it can get pretty low sometimes, man. But it's through those moments you have the little voice of, it'll get, it's like, it'll get better. And it's a wave. It's a wave, man. It can't always be perfect. And to try to resist the dips is to resist life. And it takes us out of the present, takes us out of being able to connect with ourselves and others. And this is one of the main things, we're teaching, is being able to see how to connect with yourself so that you can connect with others. Because if you don't know who you are, what you like, the people that you want to hang out with, the person that you believe you are, if you don't know the answers to these questions, then you're literally just floating through life. You're going through life based off of what others are saying, what society's telling you. If you don't have any sort of understanding of who you are, then other people will tell you. Other people will get you into it. Society will tell you who you are. And it's going to be confusing. It's going to be frustrating. But that is the whole point of one of the greatest journeys that we can do. And that is that journey of self-discovery.
Yeah, man. That path. And I dig it. Finding your own path and what you do, your purpose, you know what I mean? I I started digging up my heritage, and I found out, the Viking thing, and I read a story about, the where I come from, and the story from him invading basically Normandy over and over again with this little horde of Vikings and bugging them. Finally, the king of France makes a deal with him, like, look, man, you're not gonna win. You know that. We all know that, but we know you're not gonna stop. So we'll give you Normandy if you just chill out and help us stop for the rest, and you can marry my daughter and become, all these other stipulations, blah blah blah. But long story short, that man was persistent, and he did
Yeah.
it for his people to give them a better life. He kept fighting and fighting and fighting, hitting the wall over and over again, knowing it was unsurmountable odds, but kept coming at him
Hmm.
until and that's what I do. It makes perfect sense. It's like, that is me. That has been me. I just keep getting up, man, and you can't tell me no. I'm doing this shit. And it's not for me. I've always done it with good intention, you know what I mean? I want to help others so much, not feel what I felt, just like you. And hearing your story just now, it makes sense now to me why you do what you do, brother. That was some heavy shit you had on your plate the whole time, and you kept it together. That's heavy, man. Most people would implode.
Well, nobody saw the implosion. No,
Right.
there's a lot of that. That's a snippet
Yeah,
of
man.
what's gone on. Those are the high level cliff notes. Like,
The highlights.
it's not that, and I don't want people to think that I just love and lighted my way here. This was fucking work. Like,
Oh, dude.
I had to earn this journey. Like,
You was a busy, busy man.
it's you hear it all the time with people talking about the sacrifice behind the scenes. I didn't know what that meant until now.
Dude.
And I get on a different level, like, some of the shit that you get through when you really don't believe you're going to see the next day.
Yeah.
It you got a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You got a choice. You got a choice. You can't, like, talking to people that are going through some shit right now, like, get some real talk. Like, if you're in a dark place, a low place, it's a low place. It doesn't mean you aren't supposed to be there.
Right.
It's stuff that happens, man. And this is, I'll add a little tidbit to the whole community aspect of things. When people attempt to get you to stop talking about what's going on in your life because they are uncomfortable, it stops people from sharing their issues that they need to get out. And that's why they stuff them down. That's why they don't share with others. And if you're in a community that you don't have anybody that you can share this with because it's just too heavy, you're stuck. You feel alone.
Yeah.
So if you are in a place where you don't feel heard, you don't feel like somebody is going to be able to just sit with you while you just get it out. Like, that's the thing. You don't have to do anything for anybody. People going through their shit, they have to figure out what it means to them. They have to figure out what it means in their life. We're not supposed to take on other people's stuff. Like, we can't.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
impossible. How can you take on another person's experience and experience? You can't. Like, they have to go through whatever it is they go through. And I think people are scared to allow people to just talk because then they feel obligated to give an answer.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to give an answer on this. Some of this shit about life, it sucks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I feel
Like,
that
there's some
because
stuff about life that it's not pleasant.
and you want to do for people. I do, but I can't make somebody not go through their shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're gonna have to. I can only build a bridge my way and hopefully they get across enough safely, because their steps are different than mine. You know what I mean? My bridge might be a little wavy.
Mhm.
But
And I think that's the whole point. You find the bridges that you feel comfortable crossing.
yeah, there. Help me out with that one. But that's what I'm trying to do. Like I know I can't speak change into anybody. So I'm just trying to make connections with so many people, good people like you, sir, and maybe people will start doing that themselves, make their own connections for them. That my connections may not be good for them, but maybe one or two of them are.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's all this is. And that's all I want others to do. That's why I want to sit down and have conversations with cool motherfuckers such as yourself and hear their stories, man. Because I mean, looking at anybody, we don't know until you just shut the fuck up and listen. And I've never heard your story that way, because I've never just shut the fuck up and listen. So I appreciate that. And that's not even done. That's just a little piece. But I that's the thing, man. People they don't they don't know how to listen, and they don't have that support for somebody to explain to them the way that they need to hear it for something to click for them. So build bridges, man. That's how things click. That's how things start clicking.
I really believe we're starting to see a shift. I really do, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I think more people are understanding, especially over the last year, how important connection is. And the only way that we can really have true connection with somebody is if we know who we are.
Yeah.
Because
Can't
if all
help
we're doing
nobody.
is sharing bits and pieces of ourselves that we're just doing it because we think it's what they want us to do,
Right.
we're living a lie.
Yeah. Got to get people to be them, do them.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I think everybody, even me, I think still to certain degrees, I worry about what people think
Of course.
or feel, obviously. So
Of
that kind of
course, dude.
navigates certain decisions still, or what
Yeah.
have you. But more, you gotta. I let go mostly. Like mostly, I really don't give a shit what people think to a certain degree. Like I want people to feel good. Don't get me wrong, but if you're a jackass or a douchebag, I really don't care about your feelings enough to worry about them like that. You know what I mean? But I do, and most people do more so than they should with their decisions anyway. You know what I mean? Do what you feel and don't worry about what anybody has to think about it, because that's what you feel.
Are you questioning your feelings though? Because if you feel that you're just going to run through this dude in front of you every single time you get him, then your feelings is causing harm to somebody else. So are you asking yourself through this process if what you're feeling is even what you think it is?
Right, right. No, I want people to just follow their heart, man, and not worry about. That's kind of what I was trying to say, is that I've held back so long on doing certain things because I was worried about outside whatever. So I held back what I felt like I wanted to do, needed to do, felt drawn to, because I was worried about what people would think or call me lame, or it's a joke or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that stops a lot of people short, and it is sad.
Yeah.
But I found my support. I found my path. So every time I don't even think right now I've been to the point where I mean, I have down days, but
Mm-hmm.
even in those days, I have so many people around me that it's hard to stay down. It really is, because I have so much support.
That's it.
That is it. And that's what I want people to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
It's easy, man. If I can do it, shit. It's, it's wild. But and it's wild to me, like it's crazy to me that I can call you my friend. You're like a rock star, Monk,
Oh,
man.
Come on, man.
Seriously.
It's so weird for me to hear stuff like that because I still look at myself as the kid from Marion.
Right, right. And when people give me compliments, sometimes they do. It kind of bothers me a little, because I'm just me, and I don't mean to like jack you off over here, but man, you are, man. You're one of the coolest people I know by far.
Thank
Your
you.
path has been inspiring. Nonetheless, it's really cool what you're doing and what you're part of.
Thank you, man.
Amazing.
I
Yeah, for
mean,
sure.
you definitely helped me out too, along the way. So I appreciate the relationship, man.
For
Appreciate you.
sure. Always, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time it is. We've been going, it's after 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
A
supposed to
little
be,
over now.
it's still recording.
There we go. Hey, that's all that matters, right?
Right on. Man, I think the things you talked about were golden, and people will hear this, and it will help. We laid out quite a blueprint right there for people to start paying attention to, or going down that rabbit hole. I
Yeah.
appreciate your story, man. You sharing all your pain with us, and your road and what you did with it.
Thank
That
you.
shows people enough. Seeing people go through that, because you got to a point where you had to just be like, either snap or deal with it. And humans, when you are in that dark place, it doesn't mean you don't have to be there.
Yeah.
Just I mean, you'd be surprised at what you could go through and handle.
Yeah.
Have to, you know?
Humans are very resilient. We are
Yeah,
way more resilient than I think we like to give ourselves credit for.
absolutely. And I think your story will definitely help others focus on that a little more, for sure, man.
Awesome.
So thanks, man, for being the first ever guest on the Artform of Civil Disobedience, Mr. Mahle.
Absolutely, man. I'm very excited and honored
Thank you.
to be the first guest. I appreciate it, man. Really do.
Thanks, man. I will get this out as soon as possible. I might edit a little bit, I might not, but I'll get it out ASAP, and you'll be the first one to know.
Awesome, man.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
brother.
For sure. We'll see you.
Later.